Hey guys, I'm Ouroboros. Let's play Persona 3 Real. It is December 30th.
It's me.
And it's Yukari.
You got a sec?
Yeah, I'm coming.
Morning. I've got good news. Aigis is coming back today. Mitsuru-senpai said her injuries are all healed up. We're meeting in the lounge tonight. Don't forget, okay? See ya.
Okay, well, Aigis is coming back. It's been a while since we've seen her. It is daytime. It feels weird. Oh, look at the little Jack Frost. Look at them. Oh, these are things from Yakushima. Oh, I have never noticed that. You never spawn in your room, I feel like, if that makes sense. Like you don't normally get dumped in there unless it's a Sunday. So I'm not used to seeing that there. Hello, Mitsuru. That's not Mitsuru. Come on. Have you heard? I guess we'll be back tonight. Okay, well, good talk. I will just get straight to our social link stuff today. We are hanging out with Hayase. Wish I could grab a bite with you, but I can't today. I actually need to talk. Do you mind joining me? Let's do this. Thanks, I owe you one. Let's head somewhere else. Maybe the shrine?
Thanks for coming all the way here for this.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Glad to hear that. I wanted someplace quiet to talk. I just came from the hospital. After this, I have to pick my sister up from preschool, go shopping, cook dinner, do laundry. There's still so much I have to do.
That sounds pretty rough.
It sure is. But I can handle it. My mom had to do all this every single day. Remember how I told you I had a chance to win that scholarship? Turns out I can't practice anymore. I just don't have the time for it. Besides, even with the scholarship, we still can't afford college. I mean, we don't even have enough to survive. We already lost Dad, and now Mom can't work. It's up to me to earn a living. I have no choice but to give up track. Why'd you have to die, Dad?
It's not your fault.
I wish I could have taken you on one last time. I just wanted to run one more time. One last run at some big event. Just one more time. Is this really how it ends for me?
I mean, you can't give up yet.
You're right. I've come too far to give up now. I'm gonna compete. Even if it's my last time, I want to win. I've dedicated most of my life to track and field. It's time to put everything I've learned to the ultimate test. I'm glad we could talk. Everything feels a lot clearer now. Because of you. I have something to aim for. Thanks, man.
I helped Hayase figure himself out. I feel like we're getting closer. And with that, we have unlocked Star Rank 7.
Oh, crap. My sister's probably waiting for me. See ya.
Parted ways with Hayase and went back to the dorm.
I've returned, everyone. Sorry to have worried you all.
Man, it's good to see you. It's been a whole month, you know? I was getting nervous.
Me too. I was afraid I wouldn't see you again. I'm just a machine. I can always be rebuilt. Even if I'm completely destroyed, my programming data would still exist.
Come on, don't talk about yourself like that.
I was told she'd need another week for a complete recovery, but I had the work expedited. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve.
I'm sorry for all the trouble I've caused. Mitsuru-san visited me while I was at the lab. I heard what happened. You've all been through so much. Have you been well? Well, given the circumstances, I'd assume not.
I've been alright. Managing here and there.
Really? That's a relief to hear. 10 years ago, what I did to you was...
Look, you had no choice.
But if I hadn't done what I did to you, you wouldn't be suffering like this. As for what Ryoji-kun said, have you already made your decision?
Yes, I have.
I have a favor to ask. Tomorrow, when Ryoji-kun comes back, please, kill him. I can't bear to see you all suffer like this. If you're in this much pain, I beg you, choose to surrender your memories. Even if it means forgetting everything and everyone.
I guess, what are you talking about?
Yeah, seriously. This is not like you.
What is it, I guess?
Why? Why did I come back here? My duty is to protect people from shadows. But now, it's clear that I can't defeat them. What am I even doing here? No matter how hard I try, I can't even shed a tear for you. I guess. Why do you try to fight when you know it's hopeless? Why risk everything when it will only lead to suffering? You're all just throwing away your lives. I don't understand.
We're not throwing away our lives. In fact, our eyes are set on the future. Isn't that right?
Right.
I don't understand. Perhaps it's because I lack a life of my own.
It's got nothing to do with having a life.
I'm a machine created to protect humans from shadows, but I can't carry out that duty with the power I have. So what is my purpose now? I just don't know, and no one can give me an answer.
Well, yeah, you don't have the answers. The meaning of life or death isn't something someone else can just teach you. Making your own decisions is hard, no matter who you are. No choice is perfect, you know? But as long as we're alive, we gotta do something. When you see someone going through the same thing you're going through, you just want to help them. That's how we plan on getting through this. Maybe that wasn't the best explanation, but that's the idea.
That's the idea?
When I saw you collapse, I realized something. I want to protect you, I guess. I don't want to forget about you.
Fuka-san.
There are times when you'll lose sight of your purpose and you'll have to search for it. But if you can't find it again, then what you need is to seek out a new purpose. I'm not really one to talk, but I feel like I've learned something important this year. To truly live is to be willing to change. And we have to make those choices for ourselves.
Do you think I'll be able to change too?
You have changed so much. Haven't you noticed? You've even started speaking like a real human.
I understand what my purpose is now. I'm a machine with the directive to live, and the one issuing this new command is me.
As it should be, I guess.
I'll stare fear in the face and choose to live. This is the promise I've made to myself. I'm not sure how I'll do it, but perhaps that's a part of living too.
Yeah, it sure is.
The resolution in Aigis' heart has awakened a new persona. Aigis' persona Palladian has given rise to Athena. And she now gains access to a new theurgy. This one's actually a lot more important than the other ones because you don't get forced into Orgia mode. You retain control over Aigis, but we will see that later today.
Will you allow me to join you in this fight?
You kidding? Of course. You've always been one of us.
Thank you. From now on, I stand with all of you, no matter what happens.
Yeah!
All right, well, that is yet another, where is it, Persona? Evolved Persona that we have. So we've got Isis, Trismegistus, which, side note, I always feel like Trismegistus is, that you're just throwing syllables together. Caesar, Artemisia, Athena, Kalanemi, and Cerberus. If you remember, Koromaru has pretty much always had these two theurgies, and this gets mentioned very, very briefly later, but yeah. Koromaru doesn't evolve his persona in this story. He's always had an evolved persona. Just a nice little interesting tidbit. Now I know why I'm here. My destination lies in the decision we make. Let's choose wisely. I want to talk first. They said Aigis was coming back because she was all fixed up, but I have a feeling it wasn't just a regular repair job. I believe she's come back to us as a whole new person. I would agree. Hey, did something happen to Ai-chan when she was getting repaired? She seems so different. It's almost like she's human. I don't know, it's just hard to explain. Maybe that's a good thing, though. How mysterious. She used to be so formal, but now Aigis-san is no different from the rest of us. Finally feels like the team is complete with Aigis back, but she's changed so much, don't you think? She seems so human now. We probably shouldn't treat her like a robot anymore, huh? Are we finally out of the uncanny valley? Am I zoomed in? No. The researchers at the lab told me she has developed something akin to emotions. That's why she appears more human. Okay. Well, I am gonna go ahead and get a fortune reading real quick from Escapade. And then we will go to Tartarus. I guess I will talk to these people first. Isn't this town weird? It's all dirty and messy. I'm really sensitive to it. I can't concentrate anymore. It's messing up my rhythm. Christmas was great. I brought a leftover cake on the 25th and I just stuffed myself at home in the dark. I didn't even use utensils. Some Christmas, ha 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 ha. Oh God, well, hopefully you got to spend Christmas with your family. If you don't celebrate Christmas, hopefully you spent the 25th doing whatever it is you want to do. So, now I'm going to talk to Fuka, and we're going to head to Tartarus. I don't think there's any extra dialogue. When we go there, maybe Aigis says something, because, you know, new persona. So I'm just going to go ahead and talk through this. We've got a lot of bios to get through, so I think I'm going to go ahead and get started on these pretty much as soon as we jump into the first few floors here. Yeah, no dialogue. Well, Elizabeth wants something. Oh. It's just a pet. Floor 190. I will deal with that later. And I feel like I have to bring Aigis in. Ooh, everybody's levels are all over the place. I'll bring you Kari, just so that not everybody's super low level except for me. Do I have Siegfried? Yes, I do. And I have a level 2 Pixie. Awesome. You love to see it. Okay, floor 197. Sent someone on a higher floor. Yeah. Go to the next floor, and this area ends here, and we can go on up. What floor do we have to get to? Looks like we need to get to floor 226, so we've got about 28 floors? Is that right? Is my math right there? 27 floors? Somewhere around there for tonight. Is this area gonna be super psychedelic still, or can we actually see things? It's still gonna be like this. Okay, well, that's lovely. All right, well, once I whack an enemy, I will go ahead and get started. First one, might as well start off with Athena. This is Aigis' evolved persona. Athena is the Greek goddess of wisdom, knowledge, and a lot of different things. Like, I know she's commonly associated with like war and battle tactics, and she also frequently took sides during a bunch of different conflicts in Greek mythology. She would also aid different heroes throughout Greek mythology, like Heracles and Perseus. So there's a lot of stuff on Athena. You've most definitely heard about her before. Hello. In game, just like the other evolved personas, this is just Palladian, but you now null Pierce, and you get the new theurgy. And I will show off the new theurgy as soon as I am able to. But it is, like I said, it is nice for Aigis just because you don't get locked into Orgia mode. You still do retain control over her. But that is Athena. Up next is Garuda. So Garuda is a large bird creature from Hindu and Buddhist mythology. It's often depicted with a gold body, red wings, a white face, the beak of an eagle, body of a man, so a lot of different things. And Garuda is also the personification of courage and quite large. Protect is strong to me, okay. Garuda are also incredibly smart and highly organized. So this is not necessarily like a person, but more like a race, species, if that makes sense. In-game, oh boy, you've got 3 weaknesses, which is rough. It is really rough to have 3 weaknesses. You get good skills though. Have I seen this theurgy? I think I have. This is Scarlet Havoc. It's the most insane thing, yeah. You get good skills though. You get Garudyne, Magarudyne, and Pantaray. You also get Amrita Showers, so I'd recommend taking those wind skills, maybe fusing it into something that has Wind Amp, because, oh, do I want this? Sure. Because having 3 weaknesses on any persona is it's just gonna be rough. You really shouldn't be running it. If you want to fuse some null or reflect skills or whatever you want onto it, that would be a good idea too, but I wouldn't use it just with the skills you get. Next is Norn. So Norn is a race of female goddesses who kind of act like the Fates from Greek and Roman mythology. Norn is from Norse mythology, but very similar to the Fates from Greek and Roman mythology. They live near Yggdrasil and kind of just take care of it, if that makes sense. I know that's a weird pastime to have, but I mean, if you've got a big tree in your backyard, you might as well. There are also good and bad Norns, if that makes sense. It just kind of depends on the story and whether or not they're, I guess, benevolent or malevolent. Norn in-game is incredibly good. So this is the ultimate persona of the Fortune Arcana, but not in Reload, only in past versions of P3, which is weird that they switched it up, and this is not the only case of this happening. But Norn comes from a group fusion, so I guess it should be good because you have to fuse a bunch of things into it. You've got a fantastic magic stat. You've got Magarudyne and Pantaray. You've got Wind Amp, Meteorahan, Salvation, Invigorate 3. You've got good affinities, so Norn is a really good choice. I mean, obviously, Wind Amp with Magarudyne and Pantaray, that's a great combination, but even like Meteorahan and Salvation is great. Invigorate 3 is always, like, you're never going to complain about restoring SP, especially on Tartarus trips, even though you don't really need it at this point. But yeah, Norn, fantastic option. Would 100% recommend. Next persona is Hellbiker. So, Hellbiker, its Japanese name is a reference to Hell's Angels, which is a bike gang in the US, I'm pretty sure. There's really no, like, mythological basis for Hellbiker. It's more of just a reference to, again, Hell's Angels, the biker gang, which is weird. You don't often see those in Persona. There's usually some foundation there, but here, you don't really have much. It's okay in game. It gets fire and dark damaging skills. It does get Bloody Charge. That's the one thing it really has going for it. If you remember, Shinji had Bloody Charge. This is, it's where you have your own HP, get increased crit rate and charge at the same time. So, he and only Futsunushi get it, and Futsunushi is the ultimate persona of the Magician Arcana, so if you want Bloody Charge, you kinda got a while before you can use it, and this is a little awkward, because I'm low health and I thought I'd be able to down those. But really, Bloody Charge is the only reason you would want to get Hellbiker. No, please don't end me like like this. Please don't attack Makoto. Ooh. Okay, we're good. We're vibing. We're chilling. Should be good. I can probably kill here, right? I think it blocked the other two. Yeah. Anyway, next up is Lilith. So Lilith is most notably known as Adam's first wife before Eve. Lilith angered God and was then subsequently transformed into a demon, which is why she looks the way she does in game. And a lot of versions of her. There are a lot of different versions of her and Adam, and most of them have to do with her being sinful, and is almost always associated with having demon children. A lot of stuff on her. Also has a personal vendetta against humanity, specifically infants. Probably a lot to do with all the different things that happen to her. But anyway, in game, you've got a good magic stat. You've got kind of a wide variety of skills here. You've got Mabufudyne, you've got Maziodyne, you've got Megiddola. Drain Wind is nice to have. You get Demonic Decree, which I don't know if I've talked about yet. This is a kind of similar to Dark Insta-Kill skills, except it just cuts the enemy's health in half. So I would recommend fusing an Amp skill into it to specialize in something. Obviously either Bufu or Zeo skills, just because you've already got Mabufudyne and Maziodyne. You should probably focus on one of those. And then Megiddola is just there. Those are helpful for the little golden hands that resist absolutely everything. Up next is Melchizedek. Melchizedek was a king and priest mentioned in Genesis chapter 14, and is typically associated as an angel or some type of heavenly priest, and specifically in terms of like the angel depiction, a power, one of the powers. If you remember, we've definitely come across power already, right? Have I gotten Daisojo yet? We'll find out. Anyway, Melchizedek is also seen in Gnosticism and placed above even Jesus in that religion, which there's a lot of Gnostic stuff in games if you haven't been able to tell. Especially in SMT, like the Demiurge or Yaldabaoth is from Gnosticism, so if you've ever seen that in a past title, because they do show up here and there, that's where that comes from. In-game, Melchizedek is the ultimate persona of the Justice Arcana. It is a good physical attacker. It does get God's Hand, which is a very, very, very strong physical skill. It gets Akasha Arts. It also gets Hama-On and Mahama-On if you want to deal with that. It does get Hama Boost, so if you want something that does both physical attack and also gets insta-kill skills, not blessed, they're called light insta-kill skills in this game, not curse and bless, dark and light. It's a good persona. I would recommend. It's got a solid strength stat. I wouldn't really recommend using it for Hama stuff. I mean, it will work, but I've never been the biggest fan of Hama and Mudo skills just because I feel like they're too inconsistent. But hey, if you want to roll the dice, you can roll the dice. Next up is Cybele. Cybele is the Phrygian mother goddess. She's also associated with nature and wildlife. She's seen in Greek and Roman mythology because, I mean, that's just how it is at this point. Usually the same motherly ideas as her original, what is it called? Phrygian origins, I guess? But in-game, Cybele is the ultimate persona of the Lover's Arcana. She gets Spellmaster, which is really, really good. So Spellmaster, I don't think we've talked about this yet, halves the SP cost of all magic skills, which is really, really helpful and will be especially helpful later down the line once we start getting some really expensive ones. You get Light Amp, but only Makogeon. You don't get just normal Kogeon. So yeah, I would fuse some skills into it, or take that Spellmaster, fuse it into something else. It would be good if you wanted like a focused light attacker though, but in case you couldn't tell, I just sped through that battle. I basically didn't pay attention, and that's why you should use Siegfried. So I'm going to stop talking really quick so we can read this dialogue. High level threat eliminated. How is everyone's current condition? If you're experiencing fatigue, then I recommend we return early. Nah, let's keep going. I've only been recording for 25 minutes. That is very magnifique, as they say. Then let us resume our exploration. That seems odd. I figured they would have said more stuff about how, like, oh, I guess it's so different. You've changed all that stuff. And usually they do that when you have, like, an evolved persona. And somebody who's evolved their persona. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Anyway, we are rolling through these floors. I love it. I love these Tartarus episodes not being nearly as long as they used to be. And I've kind of decided that I just don't want to deal with the Monad doors. They add like an extra 10-ish minutes, and there's no reason to go through them. I mean, the extra gear is nice, but at this point, I'm so overpowered with stuff that I can just focus on getting good gear for the super boss once we cross that bridge, but I'm not super worried about. Oh, that's a level. Why are my personas so low level? What was I doing? What happens if I foul? Oh wait, I thought that was poison breath. I think this thing just, you definitely just absorb everything. I don't think there's anything I can realistically do here. Zeodyne, maybe? Yeah, you just absorb everything. Okay, well, I'm just gonna run. I don't know what button to press. I play too many games. I don't know what buttons to press. Okay, well, as we watch this thing absorb all my attacks. Next persona, this is Qitian Desheng, also known as Sun Wukong or Satan Taisei, depending on your region. Its name translates to Great Sage, Equal of Heaven. And so Sun Wukong or Qitian Desheng broke into the underworld and crossed his and his people's names off the record of the living soul. Can this thing just run away? What the hell? Oh my god. Anyway, so crossed the names off the record of the living souls, and this granted them all immortality. He was eventually caught and then imprisoned by Buddha himself. So Sun Wukong or Qitian Desheng or Satan Taisei has appeared in a bunch of different SMT games, and this is the one that we get in this game. In-game, very speedy and kind of okay strength. More importantly, you get Apt Pupil, which is kind of all that matters. You get Apt Pupil, you get Revolution, you get Akasha Arts. Primal Force is really good. That's severe pierce damage to one foe. It's solid. I would recommend giving those skills to something better, but let's be honest, you probably have better physical attackers at this point that you can just keep raising, like Siegfried. Honestly, do you really need anything else? Probably not. I mean, if you haven't been paying attention to the gameplay and just been watching the bios, you probably haven't been noticing me just like steamroll this entire block with just Deathbound Gobert. I do think this thing, nope, just kidding. I was gonna say I think this thing resists it, but clearly it doesn't. Anyway, next persona, this is Horus. Horus is the Egyptian sun god, but not Ra, which I thought Ra was the sun god, but whatever. It's more associated with like the sun and the sky, if that makes sense. So not really the creator of those things, just like representative of them, I guess. I don't know. Some of these mythologies are weird and I don't fully understand them because I can't be an expert on every mythology. Horus is constantly at battle with Seth, who we have seen much of, and who I've talked about how I think he should be stronger in these games. And apparently at the end of that battle, Seth lost a testicle and Horus lost an eye. So I'm glad Seth had the ball to admit that he was wrong. I also like that we can actually see Horus in this game. Like, it's not just a shining ball of light. It feels like it actually has a model. But in battle, it's a light attacker. Who would have thought? It's a light attacker. You get Amrita Shower, you get Summer Recarm. Evade Dark is nice to have. I'd rather have Block or Reflect, but it is what it is. You get Auto Masuku Kaja. It's okay. I feel like there are better light attackers that you could have picked. I think Melchizedek is probably your better option at this point, or even Sibylle because you get Makogeon. Yeah, it's alright. Up next is Skadi. So Skadi is a giant in Norse mythology associated with skiing, hunting, and winter. She is the Celtic equivalent to Skaha and is associated with darkness and shadow, which is why its design is kind of just a shadow, I guess. There's a lot of conflicting information out there about her. Pretty much everything else about her. Pretty much everything. Oh, okay. I typed something weird there. There's a lot of conflicting information, so I'm not going to get too far into it. So I will just go ahead and go into the stats. You got a high magic stat, you've got Ice Amp, you've got Mabufu Dying, you've got Diamond Dust, so really if you're looking for an ice attacker, this is probably your best bet. You get Vorpal Blade for some reason, which is just randomly amazing, and you do get Drain Fire, which is nice because it does cover its one weakness, so Scotty's fantastic, especially if you're looking for an ice attacker. I don't think there's really any other option you can have right now that will do better than Scotty. Maybe one a little bit later, like after this full moon, but yeah, would recommend Scotty if you're looking for an ice attacker. Next up is Arahabaki. So this is supposedly a Japanese god, but its origin is kind of unknown. I remember looking into this when I was doing Royal, but essentially what happened is there were fake documents circulating around the media between like the 70s and like the early 2000s. And it's just figurines from like really way back when in Japan, and that's kind of all we know about Arahabaki. In-game, it's the motherfucker that reflects physical, but only slash and pierce in this game. Not quite as much fun as it is in 5. I don't know if fun is the right word, but if you can deal with it, it's fun. If you can't deal with it, you're kind of screwed. But actual stats, you are weak to strike, but you do get repel strike. I believe you're weak to dark, but you also get repel dark, so you only end up having one weakness with this thing that has 3 weaknesses, which is kind of interesting that it starts off not good and then kind of becomes a tank later on, if that makes sense. You get Auto Marakukaja, you get Null Charm for some reason. This thing is really just here for the affinities. It's kind of a tank persona, which is odd. I never know what to really do with tanks. Regardless, this next one is not a tank. Next persona is Alice. This is literally just Alice from Alice in Wonderland. It's nothing crazy there. Falling down the rabbit hole into a fantasy world. This one is closer to European folklore, however. So, like many children's stories, it's based on something a little bit more aggressive, let's say. So, Alice was a girl who died young, and as a spirit, she would end up gaining these incredible magical powers and would kill naughty children at night. So that's how parents scared their kids into behaving, because how else can you get kids to behave? They don't want to do that on their own. Let's just threaten them with murder. In-game, so Alice is not nearly as broken as she is in P5 because you don't get any traits in this game, which does make me a little sad because I love traits. But the big thing with Alice is that she is by far the best dark insta-kill persona in the game. She gets an exclusive skill called Die For Me. This is a high chance of dark insta-kill to all foes, and on top of that, you do get Mudo Boost. You get Megadoleon, you get Endure Light. Like I said, you don't get the absolutely absurd trait that you get in Royal. If you don't know what that is, I forgot what it's called specifically, but it reduces the cost of all dark insta-kill skills to 0, so you can just spam Die For Me, and you literally don't use up any SP. But if you are looking for an insta-killer, Alice is by far your best bet, at least on the dark side. I can't say for sure. I don't think there's a light insta-kill persona that quite does what Alice does on the dark side, but yeah. If you're looking for one, would recommend. I think when I played Royal, I picked her up and then just kind of dumped her in the back because there wasn't much, like she was in my stock and I just left her there because there wasn't much. I have no HP. What are you? Okay. Scarlet Havoc Gober. How many more do I have? I have like 4 or 5 more. I will relax for a second. I should probably focus on getting Aegis's Theurgy built up because I still need to show it off. And we are slowly making our way up through Tartarus. There should be a few people that we need to rescue. And I am gonna need to go grab that dog, cat on floor, I think 190 it was. And I would really love to get one of the clocks because these two, Yukari and Ken, are kinda low level right now, and that's a little concerning. But I hope you guys have been doing well. I hope your holiday break is going all right. It is the day after Christmas for me. Actually, I recorded a bunch of stuff in advance just so that I could enjoy my break and see my family. I saw them on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day I left after. I was actually gonna so I was gonna leave Christmas Day after breakfast. That's typically what I do. Like, I love my family, I really do, but 24 hours with them is that's enough for me. Which sounds awful, but I don't get me wrong, I love my family, but 24 hours, I go back to being me. That's kind of the Goldilocks zone for me. But I was gonna leave after breakfast on Christmas Day, and my aunt goes, "You're gonna miss the filet mignons." I was like, "Ah, you bitch!" So I had to stay for the steaks. The steaks were good, and I have no idea what this thing is weak to. You're probably not weak to anything, are you? But yeah, it was good. I didn't get too many crazy Christmas presents. My mom gave me a lot more money than I was expecting because I'm saving up to buy a house, but the more I think about it, the more I think it might be good to just wait around. That's a crit. Wait, because the housing market's just very volatile right now, at least where I live in the US. Oh, you get, oh Lord. I need to figure out what you're weak to. Wind, okay. That's good. I think I have a Norn, right? Yes, I do. I've got enough SP. Let's blow this all. Oh, wait, I think Yukari's down, so no! I feel like I have to Guardine here. Does Ken have Dakaja? I think he does. This isn't gonna do very much damage because it's Heat Risered. Oh, and I lose Ken. Oh, and I think I'm Marakunded. This is really awkward. But yes, I hope your holidays are going well as I'm struggling to kill Hulk Hogan. Oh, I can show it off. Let's go. And of course it did no damage because, of course it did no damage because it's Heat Risered and it's defense up. I am just going to attack it again. So this is something that I've actually noticed so I'm playing through Royal on Merciless, and I've never played Merciless on it before. And I'm quickly learning that it is easier to just not all-out attack anything. So if you haven't played Royal, what Merciless does is the highest difficulty, but I don't know if it doubles, but it strongly increases all crit, weakness, and technical damage. So like, if you hit a weakness, you basically just kill any enemy. And I've noticed that actually, on one hand, it does make things easier, and on the other hand, it kind of makes things a little awkward because you aren't able to negotiate with any of the shadows. Like, you have to you instantly kill something, so you have to kind of make do with what you can actually negotiate with. It's also like, I rarely all-out attack because sometimes the all-out attack just, like if I'm in a battle with a strong shadow or even a boss, the all-out attacks do barely any damage, and it's literally better to just break formation and then attack again. It's very weird. It's very not Persona-like because you're not trying to get weaknesses and then all-out attack. You're just trying to get the weakness and then get it again. It's very weird, but it's been fun. It's been nice to replay it. It's the first time replaying it since I played it on this channel. And I know the game in and out like the back of my hand, so it's also cool to just be able to take my time a little bit more. Come back here, you asshole. It's nice to be able to take my time a little bit more and just explore every square inch of Tokyo, because it's been a while since I've been able to do that. There's nothing I can do here. I guess I Scarlet Havoc, because why not Scarlet Havoc? Anyway, whatever. I'm gonna go to the next bio. This one is Loki. So Loki is the, oh no, my computer just went to sleep. I was reading it. Loki is the god of mischief, magic, and also fire from Norse mythology. Loki is a half-breed between a Jotun and a Love, I think that's how you say it, a lesser goddess in, what is it, Norse mythology. So this kind of like half-breed blood conflict is the foundation for a lot of his stories. And much like basically every other mythology, yes, he is quite horny. Yes, he got pregnant from a horse. No, he didn't get a horse pregnant. He got pregnant from a horse. Also had children to more normal affairs and not, horse. His son, Fenrir, would eventually end up killing Odin during Ragnarok. In-game, this is not the DLC Loki. This is the normal old school Loki. So you get Agi, Bufu, Zio, and Garudine. So the 4 main elemental skills that are dying skills. You know what I mean. So it's really nice to have that variety, in all honesty, because there are times when I go into the development room and I fuse a bunch of stuff and there's just one affinity that I don't cover just from bad luck. It sucks, it happens, so if you ever need something, just go grab Loki. It makes things easy. You also get Migidola, which is nice, again, because of the little golden hands. You get single target boost, which is great for all those dying skills that you get. You get Spellmaster, which I talked about, halves the cost of all magic skills, so Loki's a good pick. You've got a high magic stat, so really, if you're looking for a jack of all trades, Loki is probably your best bet. You don't get any amp skills or anything. Again, you do get single target boost, but this is not a persona you get for like very niche applications. This is not a specialized persona, but still one that is very good. Next persona, this is Ho-Oh. This is actually called Phoenix in future games, and you all know what a phoenix is. In Chinese mythology, they were also known as August roosters, and sometimes take the place of a rooster in the Chinese zodiac. And they're known as Ho-Oh in Japan, and Phoenix, and all these other names. And I also get this confused with Suzaku, which I think I actually have in my stock. Yes, so for whatever reason, they look similar enough to me as like Red Bird, and they're always typically strong-ish. So, oh, we got a Greedy Shadow. I'll speed through this. His feathers are the same colors as the 5 Taoist elements: metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. You've got good magic. This is really a healing persona. So you get, oh, I can use Tartarus Search. Cool. I can use Tartarus Search to find out where the Greedy Shadow is. It's a healing persona. You get Sama Recarm, you get Divine Grace, you get Null Pierce, and that gets rid of one of its weaknesses. You get Salvation. So I think healers are weirdly good offensive personas just because healing skills go off your magic, so they want them to have high magic, which also influences how much damage you do. It's a weird, like, dual purpose thing, if that makes sense. But we've only got 2 more, so I'm going to polish these off real quick because there are some things in the Discord I do want to talk about that people brought up. Next persona is Michael. So Michael is one of the 4 Archangels. He is a commander for God's army and led the fight against Lucifer and the other fallen angels. Michael is mentioned in the Book of Daniel and the Book of Revelation, and his name also means who is like God. Not like who is like God, more like who, no, not a question, like a statement. I realized how weird that sounded. In game, you get Heaven's Blade. Heaven's Blade. So this is a physical skill that is severe slash damage to one foe, and also has a high chance to crit. This is exclusive to a couple of the Archangels, I think, if I remember correctly. You also get Angelic Grace, which is another thing that comes from a handful of the Archangels. This increases evasion against all non-almighty magic attacks. You get Heat Riser, you get Drain Pierce, you've got good strength, good affinities. Michael's just a good pick. Typically, the Archangels I found are good options for whatever they tend to go for. But the final persona that I'm going to talk about today is Koryu. So Koryu is also known as Huanglong, meaning Yellow Dragon. It is the ruler of the Chinese constellation creatures. We talked about them a lot. And is the embodiment of authority. And Koryu is seen in Japanese, Chinese, and Korean mythology. I'm sure there's something else in there that I just haven't seen, but kind of a lot of those religions in that region, that East Asia, they tend to borrow from each other, just like a lot of European mythologies do that as well. In-game, Koryu is the ultimate persona of the Hierophant Arcana. You get really high endurance, you get Invigorate 3, you get Tetra and Makarakarn, you get Spellmaster, you get Concentrate, Makogeon. You've got really, really, really good skills. You honestly do. I've just always been really disappointed by Koryu's offensive output. And I don't know what to do with tanky personas, which is what Koryu is. It's kind of the Monster Hunter conundrum where you want to have, like, it's nice to have damage reducing options, but if you kill the enemy before they get a chance to attack, there's no reason to have high endurance. And Invigorate 3 just doesn't do a lot, and Tetra and Makarakan don't do a lot if you're killing everything as fast as I'm killing them right now. So that's the issue that I have with Koryu. I think it's a great design. I think it looks cool. And if you have found uses for more like tanky personas, let me know. But, and maybe this will come into play more once I get to the super boss, but I've just never really found a great use for him, which sucks because it's a dragon. It looks awesome. But those are all of the various different personas that I am going to talk about today. However, this was a while ago, on actually almost a month to the day, I asked the Discord to give me your hottest persona takes, or just in games in general, because I figured that'd be an interesting topic for us to explore in this episode. Because why not? We're getting towards the end of the game. I want to shake things up a little bit. And we've got these guys. I'm pretty sure that I have no health. Oh my god. Okay, well, let me manage things really quick here, and I'll probably do a few turns of this fight just to make sure I am, like, not completely comatose while doing this. That would be great, Fuka. And I've got, I think I may just Scarlet Havoc turn 1. That's probably the best play. Okay. So, I'm going to do these without spoiling anything. So there are Persona 5 spoilers, however, I won't be mentioning any names while doing this. So if you're worried about me spoiling names or whatever, I won't do that. So the first one, this is from Saint Warrior. They said, I have no sympathy for this character in Persona 5. I get that they had a not so great past, but that doesn't excuse the choices they make throughout the story. Okay, I agree with that. I feel like that's the normal take. Like, just because somebody does bad things, or like had a bad past, that doesn't excuse them being a not good person. And I don't understand the community's obsession with this person. Maybe they think, they probably think that they're hot, but I think it's like when people use past trauma to justify present shitty actions. Yes, it can at least give perspective as to I didn't want to turn back. I didn't want to do that. Yes, if you go through things that like gives reasoning for why you're doing them, but that doesn't give you an excuse to just be a bad person. I'm actually running low on Twilight Fragments, which never happens. But yeah, I feel like that's the normal person response, but people in the Persona community are notoriously media illiterate for some reason. And I also felt like that character was a foil for somebody else, just to show like, hey, this is what could have happened to this person if they didn't turn into a horrible person. I'm trying not to spoil anything. Okay, what's the next one? Okay, the next one is from Aladdin. It says, not sure if this is a Persona hot take, but this character should have died at the end of Persona 5. I don't agree with that. I liked how their story ended. I think that because of the way things played out, giving them a new start makes more sense within the context of their character arc, and having them move on from their, ironically, having them move on from their past trauma makes more sense within not only their character arc, but also the themes of the game a little bit better, and not being tied down and chained down, because if you remember, actually this is something that I didn't experience, but looking back on past material, there's a lot of marketing material for Persona 5 of like 4 chairs and a ball and chain for obvious reasons, and it makes more sense to not be chained down by your past, and yeah. I disagree with that one. I also don't think that type of character should always die in media. Next one is from Marine. It says, some Persona games are too reliant on coincidences. I'm gonna pick a skill card. For most major parts of the story. Like in Persona 5, Ren only ends up in the castle because of the specific way Ryuji spoke in the cutscene. Okay, so even if I like them in these moments when I realize they're important, this just feels so impossible. Okay, this is one of those things where I feel like you just have to suspend your disbelief for a minute, because, I mean, it's a Persona game. Like, also, on one hand, these are high schoolers, and their brains are not even remotely fully formed yet, so they're going to make decisions that make no sense, and you need to deal with that. I also think most stories are like that, where things happen because the plot needs to progress, and while I can understand that is frustrating, I think that's just most media in general. And as much as I like the Persona series, I don't think, at least for me, the main narrative is not the reason why I like these games. For me, it's all the extra side content, like all the social links and then doing all the dungeon crawling. Like, those are the interesting parts to me. It's not the main narrative, which, I mean, I know I've bitched and moaned about Persona 3's main narrative not being great. However, I'm okay with it being less than perfect. Like, it's never gonna be something like a game that's more linearly structured. It's not gonna be like that, because you are put on a clock, and it's hard to space out those events so that they always play out the same for everybody. If that makes sense. But I can understand why that's frustrating. You could argue these coincidences, which you only understand the importance of once you're a certain amount through the game. I also think part of Persona 5 is that these coincidences are explained later on about how they're not actually really coincidences. They're more planned out and more deliberate. I won't spoil any more than that, but if you think about what happens towards the end of the game, specifically like actually right around Christmas, the reason that they're all coincidences and all these things are happening is more important. Okay, next one. This is This looks like this is from Zen. Zen, I don't know how you made your name upside down, but it throws me for a loop. Okay, I really do love Reload, but the combat isn't perfect, and the reason for that is because it's very much Persona 5's combat system with the P3 name attached to it. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is a problem when you're trying to make P3Rs. Hold on, gotta deal with this. I'll get rid of you. P3R's combat system into its very own thing. You can do things that are similar to another property, but you have to transform it enough to do to where it's different. To me, as fun as P3R's combat system is, it isn't much different to Persona 5's. I think that's a fair take. I strongly prefer Reload over old versions of 3. It's much faster for me, and you may not like it. You may like the more deliberate combat of like Portable. The problem is that I can only handle so much of that slow, deliberate combat when it's so monotonous. I think it was a deliberate decision to speed up the combat because they weren't going to change Tartarus as much. And I understand that because it gets hard to do when, like, a big part of Tartarus is that it's always changing. But if you're not going to change Tartarus and you want it to be even remotely interesting, you have to give the player more options, and you have to speed things up. You don't have to speed things up, but by giving the player more options, you are going to inherently speed up the combat. That's the problem with a lot of games. It's basically just power creep, right? Like, if you give somebody more options, you are making them stronger. And I feel that many of the enemies in Reload aren't given sufficient tools to counteract the abilities that you're given. There is a boss later down the line that does feel like they were designed with the player's abilities in mind, and I really like that boss, and I will definitely talk about it once we get there. It is, obviously we don't have much time left in the game, but it is a little bit later, but yeah, I understand where this is coming from, but I would still take this combat over Portable any day. I have not played base P3, I have not played FES, so I cannot speak for not being able to control your party members. I can't imagine playing through a game, especially one where Tartarus is a thing, where you can't control your party members. That would be so wildly frustrating. I honestly don't think I could play through base P3 or FES. But I think one thing that I wish they did make more like Persona 5 is I wish they brought in traits. Traits were so much fun, and you could come up with so many broken combinations. And I've said this before, a lot of what I like about this combat system, the Persona combat system, is how you can just... Atlus is completely okay with just letting you break all of its systems. And if they introduce traits, again, I get it, that would give you yet another tool, and that speeds up combat even more, and enemies struggle to combat that. However, at least, I'm not sure if this is how it works, but maybe they could have, like with Royal, I'm not sure if the enemies, because the enemies are personas, if they have their traits, or they just don't. I actually don't know that, but yeah, I think Persona 3 has a lot of combat issues, but I would still take it any day over the absolute slog that is Portable. Okay, also from Zen. Zen gave me a bunch. I actually enjoyed that story arc in Persona 5. On my first playthrough, I had the same viewpoint as a majority of others within the community, but the more I played it, the more I really liked the arc. I really liked that one character's turmoil, and unlike what some say, it did not come out of nowhere. Yes, okay. I actually agree with this one. So, I think that story arc is not as bad as people say. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's the worst story arc. I would argue it's on the same level as the third story arc for the most part. I would say the villain in the one that Zen is talking about is better, but I think the execution is better in the third story arc. that character's issues do pop up really early, and that's something that I think a lot of people don't take into account. It doesn't come out of nowhere, and the two characters fighting between each other, that doesn't come out of nowhere either. I think that the one character kind of getting shafted during that story arc is in fact a problem, and I wish they would have done more to... I'm just gonna go up the floor. I wish they would have done more to explore that character, and it kind of got shafted for the other thing that happened in that story arc, but yeah, that's one that I agree with. I don't think it's a good story arc, but I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. And then, last one. I think this character should have become a Phantom Thief. Okay, so I think I agree with that. During that part of the game, I do think they should become a Phantom Thief. I think that would have been too much to implement with the constraints that Atlus was working with when they were doing the Royal Editions. Again, I don't think that what you're saying is wrong, and I think had Atlus had more time to play with, it would have been cool, but we were not given that much time during that chunk of the game. So that is actually something I brought up in my Moon Tarot study video, which actually ended up... Something happened with the upload, and like parts of the video just aren't there. I don't know why. And the video files on my computer are all weird, so I'm not going to re-upload it, because plus like only 50 people watched it, so I don't care that much about it. But that is something that I brought up in my Moon Tarot study on my other channel, so if you want to check out more of my thoughts on that, I would recommend that. Okay, not Miles. Marine said, Marine? I don't know. I can't say names. I know your screen name used to be Miles, but I don't know if you're still okay with me calling you that or what, but... Oh, I have no Twilight Fragments. I need to be careful. We've got 8 more floors, so I'm just gonna save all these Twilight Fragments. I can definitely get some from Elizabeth, but... What if this character were a second nav option? I feel like your take is good, but they wouldn't make sense as a fighting member. I guess Zen also said this. I can actually see that being a good idea. I think that would work well. I agree with Zen. If that character were to join the Phantom Thieves, a second nav would probably make the most sense. However, I don't know how I would feel about having a nav and then getting the nav replaced. That would be kind of weird. You know, I don't think that's ever happened. That's really all I have to say about that. Oh god. So now we're on to questions. These are from almost a month ago. Do I want to Deathbound? I'm just gonna Deathbound. So Nakatak says, what do you want from P6 in terms of gameplay or story structure or anything? Personally, I'd like to see a less linear story where you can make decisions that meaningfully impact the overarching plot, like some big decision to make halfway through that takes that game in one of 2 different directions. Somebody already asked this question back in May, I know. Well, it's been a while. In terms of gameplay, I would like to see... Honestly, I'm fine with how combat works now, like in Reload and in Royal. I'm satisfied with that. I don't think it really needs to make any big changes. I know Expedition 33 did, like... So, I haven't played it yet, and I really need to, because it won, like, everything at the Game Awards. But I know that Expedition 33 did, like, parry timing with turn-based combat. I think that would be interesting. But in terms of, like, just combat, I'm satisfied. I really loved the palaces in P5. I thought those were a lot of fun. Are you next? You are. I'll just attack. Story structure. So I would like to see it take more of an approach to Persona 3 as it in terms of like, oh please don't kill me. Whew, okay, we're good. Where it's like the characters are developed more over the course of the main game, but then also integrate the confidant system of Persona 5, where it feels like they do get a lot of development outside of the main story. Really, I would like more character development for all of them, but I really do wish that they handled characters a little bit more like P3. And then in terms of story structure, I think it would be great if you could do it like you said, like there's more branching options. And like you make a decision halfway through and it takes you down a completely different story path and all these different things change. I don't think that's realistically possible. Games take forever to develop, and I know P6 has been in development for, feels like a decade at this point. But I think that would be too much for Atlas. And again, I love that. I think that'd be great. But if you take a look at another game that is similar to that, like Fire Emblem Three Houses, that game has like 3.5-ish different routes. So it has 3 houses that you can pick from, and then halfway through one of those houses, you get a route split. And as much as I absolutely love that game, there are so many issues with the different route splits. So the main routes, like the 3 main ones, most of the maps are basically the same. A lot of the story beats play out almost identical, just with different characters in the mix. Like one of the routes is really, really obviously rushed, and I think that'd be really cool, like a choose your own adventure type of deal. But I don't want to see that come at the cost of the overall quality. Like, I am more than happy paying $70 for a 10-hour game that I just adore, as opposed to paying $70 for a 100-hour game that I just kind of like, you know? And I may be in the minority there. I would much rather take a quality game over a long game any day of the week. So that's what I would say. And then you also asked, what choice would you make regarding Ryoji? So if I was in this situation, would I kill him and forget, or try your chances at defeating Nyx? Personally, I'd let him live and try to fight Nyx. Even if the chances are 99% failure, you might as well try. Yeah, I think most of us are in the same boat there, where, like, I mean, you might as well try. Like, if you're gonna die anyway, might as well I mean, I get it, like you don't want to know that your end is coming, but if you have the option to prevent all of humanity from dying, then why would you not try for that, you know? And we actually do get an option to let Ryoji live, and we will see that tomorrow. And much like the route splits in Royal, I will show off those differences. Do I have any... Can I get any Twilight Fragments from you? Yes, okay. That's nice. That I just want to make sure I've got enough. Dojigiri Yatsutsuna. This is one of the Twilight Fragment chest rewards, I believe. Wow, I do not have much. Daisojo with Regenerate 3. I have a Daisojo. Do you get that? Maybe you get it after Hamaboost? I'll see. But yeah, this is one of those where it's like, you might as well try. Like, there's no reason not to. Also, like, we have unintentionally brought about the fall. The least that we can do is make an attempt to correct our errors. I mean, that's my view of it. If you mess up, it's your duty to fix things. You know, as much as I would love to just forget about all the mistakes I've made, it's hard to not. Are there any other questions? No, so there are no other questions. So I actually went through all of those surprisingly quick. I thought I would have to spend a ton of time talking about those, but here we are. So I am all good. I can just kind of yap on my own today. What do I talk about? I wasn't prepared for this. I mean, oh God. What do I talk about? This is one of the weird things about playing this game, and also just recording in general. I have to come up with things to talk about, and you know, you think about that, you're like, oh, like, you probably have all these hobbies, and you must be a really smart person, or oh, I'm sure I am sometimes, but you throw a mic in front of me and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But it is weird because, you know, if you were in a conversation with somebody, that it would flow naturally, and sometimes the conversation would die off and you'd be okay. And I think I don't know, I'm somebody who thinks that you don't always need to be talking during a conversation. Like, it's okay to just sit there and relax for a second and, I don't know, look out the window, take a bite of your meal. Like, somebody doesn't always need to be talking, but if you're making YouTube videos, it's not really an option because people kind of expect you to, you know, do things, say things. That's kind of why they're watching. But it's just, it's weird. I even after doing this for, I guess it's almost 2 years at this point of Aura Plays, I still feel weird doing these long, prolonged segments of, like, no dialogue, just combat, which is part of the reason why I like playing really story-heavy games. It just, it puts less pressure on me to come up with interesting things to talk about. But I still plan to mostly play story-driven games. I don't foresee myself ever doing something that's like really, really, really heavy gameplay, like a Monster Hunter or a more competitive game. But yeah, I am really excited to play some games. So I kind of got a few games on sale from Steam. So I got something I've been wanting to play for so long now. I got FF7 Remake and Rebirth for like $50 for the pair. So I'm excited to try those out. I also finally picked up Persona 5 Strikers. I've had people talk about Strikers so much in the comments section, and I've wanted to try it for a long time now. It was on sale for like $15. So I was like, you know what? Now is the time. It's on sale. Let's just pull the trigger. So I will play it at some point. At some point, I will play Strikers during 2026. I don't know when I'm going to do it. I don't know if I'm going to do Strikers first and then do FF7. But one of my college friends, he got a PS4 Pro, and I saw him play bits and pieces of FF7 Remake, the first one, when it came out. And I have played parts of the original Final Fantasy VII. I don't know how far through it, but I got past the Midgar section and just couldn't finish the game. I just didn't enjoy it. So I'm excited to see where it goes. So I don't know which one I'm gonna do first. Obviously, I'm gonna do FF7 Remake before I do Rebirth because they go together. You know, I would not want to play a sequel before I played a prequel, especially if they're connected like that. If it's something like Persona, it literally doesn't matter. I guess with 3, 4, and 5, you do get like references here and there to past games, but it's nothing like playing a direct sequel. But yeah, do you have any can I hit a weakness, please? Please don't have everything move first. I don't think there's really too much else to talk about here. As long as I don't, you know, die here, that'd be great. But we are slowly finishing up Social Links. We do not have much of this game left, which is nice. It's nice to be finishing up a project, you know. These things do take a while, and as much as I love them, goddamn, do they take a long time. I actually had somebody in the comments of one of my videos say like, "Hey, I'm gonna do this at some point next year, I assume. Like, what do you have? Like, what are your recommendations? If you're gonna do this, like, you have to have a plan. You can't just go in blindly, because if you're doing it like me, where you're doing, where you want to do 100%, which is how I want to do games, you have to follow a guide, and you have to double check things. So like before I do these, I do a practice run of a game, I use the guide, and if anything's wrong, that gives me time to fix it. That's also why I record these in advance, so that if I do something wrong, which I actually did in my Royal playthrough, I actually got a fortune reading for the wrong character. Somebody pointed it out, and I lost like 4 or 5 days worth of recording because I had to go back and fix it. But if you're doing it that way, you got to record ahead of time. You got to use a guide. You got to come prepared. If you're somebody who like wants to do it in real time, which I think would be a ton of fun to do, the issue becomes what happens if you can't record that day. right? Like, what if you're out of town? You can't record that day. You can't stream it that day. What are you gonna do? Or you have to like really think about when you want to go to Tartarus or Mementos or Midnight Channel, whatever it is. Because like if you're running short on the deadline and you've got a busy week of work, you're kind of screwed. You don't have another option. So that would be my recommendation. I think it'd be fun to stream stuff and stream it in real time, but I feasibly can't commit to that just because like I have family that I go and travel and see, and I can't take my whole setup with me and record there because there's a million dogs running around the house, and there's so many things you have to keep in mind when you're doing this, and for me, working ahead and making sure I know when I'm doing what. Like I have a spreadsheet that has basically every day listed. Like this is January 1st, January 2nd, January 3rd, 4th, 5th. And what I do is anytime something important comes up, so like a trip to Tartarus or like a full moon boss, or if I've got a route split, specifically with like the social links, like let's say I'm doing Yukari rank 9 today, I'll write that on the spreadsheet so that I know, hey, I've got to go back and I've got to take care of these things because I got to show both the platonic and the romantic versions of it. So it's a lot of prep, and I would love to do a series soon that is less prep, something that I can just kind of have fun with. And part of that does come down to the format, right? Like, since I do have to... It's the Persona series in general. Like, your time is limited. You are inherently put on a... You're put on a clock. You don't have as much time as you want. And it's always the absolute most precious asset to have in a Persona game is time. And that's why the Temperance Confidant in P5 is so valuable, because the Temperance Confidant gives you extra time slots. And, I want more time. And I guess that is part of how, like, the themes of P3. Like, we all want more time, but we never know when our clock is going to strike midnight, and whenever it does, that's it for us. There's nothing we can do. And that's sad, and we all wish that we could have our own, I guess we could all have our own metaphorical dark hour, where, I need Kaja clear. Where is it? Oh, hell. Or is it, it's like a sutra. What the hell is it? Oh my god, I don't know where it is. This is HP stuff. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Debilitating Sutra... Depleting Sutra? Debilitating Sutra. There we go. Sorry, I got off topic. I hate that I have to look through items. There are too many items in this game. But, it sucks because I wish I had more time, both in-game and in real life, to do the things I wanted, but just like with this game, we've got to pick and choose what we want to spend our time on, and that's really all we can do. There's nothing else. Time is a great equalizer. Delivers us all equally to the same end, and all that Persona stuff. But it is fun, I of course wish that my channels were more successful and all that crap, but at the end of the day, I am happy with the choices I've made. I'm just gonna burn my Theurgy here. Why not? Oh, I have the Monad Passage I gotta go do. Shit. That's okay. I'll figure it out. I do think, well, I will do this all in one sitting, which is nice to do. Usually I split these up into a couple recording sessions. But as I've gotten faster going through these, because, Siegfried, it does make it easier to do it all at once. Which, I don't know how to phrase this. I feel like I'm getting, what is it, sentimental with this series, if that makes sense. Because I can't do a Persona game for a while. I mean, I guess I could do a Persona game, but I don't want to do 4 and then just have Revival come out. Because, I don't want to do it back to back, and I kind of want to do Revival relatively soon after it comes out. Let's go ahead and grab this. This is Tuxedo. This is... sure, buddy. Honestly, I may just go into the Monad Passage with this party comp. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I see it. We've been running through with these guys this whole time, so... I think I am gonna go ahead and head up here and grab all this stuff first. Dead end. All right, we've got a document, right? This should be one of the last ones, right? Progress report. The test subjects' deterioration while developing their potential was severe, but the test drugs have been effective. Remaining physical strain has not interfered with the research. Additionally, the research on theory... Yep. Can I go down a floor? I can't. Okay, well, I need to go back to the entrance. I'll go ahead and save. And I know I've got a little guy on floor 190. About request. Is this the final one? This one seems somewhat different from the old documents you've collected. It appears to be a report of an experiment, but it's unfinished, as if the author had been interrupted. I can't quite comprehend the subject matter, but perhaps you can make some sense out of it. And we get 150,000 yen. Oh boy, wow, we are almost done with all these requests. That's awesome. Like I said, we are getting closer and closer towards the end of this game, and that just means we're getting closer and closer to our final fight. Almost 70 hours, which is crazy. I feel like my runs of P3 never took this long. I can't remember off the top of my head how long my personal playthrough lasted. I can't remember if I saved, right? I think I did, because I said 70 hours. Yeah. Okay. Well, always gotta double check. I don't want something stupid to happen, because as you have seen throughout many, many Tartar strips, I am fantastic at doing stupid things.
Do you think shadows
But I guess, ooh, this is, what is today, the 30th? I guess this isn't necessarily true. Moontero's reacting. Looks like the door's been unlocked. Let's do this. So if you want to know the games that I have played over the course of this year, every year over on Oro Talks, I do a ranking of the different games that I have played this year. And I gave just a brief snippet on what I think about each one, and also just ranking them. I don't give out scores for games that I play, which I feel like I may start doing that and kind of come up with my own scoring system. Maybe not a number, but maybe like a I recommend, I don't recommend, things like that. But I don't play too many games, and I'm okay with that. I like enjoying the few things that I enjoy, and it is also partly because of this channel. It's hard to do all of that all at once and then also do these videos, but I did play a lot of scriptures marked with D. D's nuts. How many games did I play this year? I guess I can go ahead and look at this for a second. Taru Kaja. Ranking the games I played in 2025. Okay, so I played 8 games this year. I feel like it's pretty good, and consider 1, 2, 3 of them I spent like 100 hours in. I feel like that's a good amount, right? Do you guys... You block slash shit. Heat Wave? Okay. And considering, like, Xenoblade X, Monster Hunter Wilds, and Metaphor ReFantasia, those are all 100-hour games, so, like, you know, that's still a pretty good amount. Some of these are shorter, like, you know, Mario Kart World, that's not a long game. Metal Gear Solid Delta, that was a ton of fun, but that's not a very long game. I don't know. I feel like it was a good year. I really do want to play Expedition 33. I haven't played it yet, and that is maybe Zeo. Who's next? I'll go for the Zeodyne. Expedition 33 is something that's like right up my alley, and I didn't get around to playing it this year, and maybe I'll get around to it next year. There's so many games. I say this all the time. There's so many games that I want to play, and I need more time. All right, is this thing spelling out death? Is that what this is? Probably. Well, I don't know. What games have you guys been playing this year? Is there anything that's like really jumped out to you? Is there something that jumped out for you for bad reasons? I know I had one. It was Metroid Prime 4. Oh boy, that game sucked ass. I'm not gonna spoil anything. It's sad because I waited 8 years for that game, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good, and that's the depressing part. I wish it were. Oh, this thing has defense up. Why didn't I get rid of that? I should have cleared that. It doesn't really pose any threat. It's just Kogeoning. Do I have... No. Okay. What else has happened? I don't know whether to be excited for New Year's or not. I'm not really somebody who... So I'm a morning person anyway, so I don't really like staying up super late normally. But I don't know. It's never something that really meant a ton to me. I know some people like doing, you know, New Year's resolutions and stuff, but I don't know. If I want to change something, whether it's about myself or what I do or goals or whatever, I'd rather just set that goal whenever, right? Like, there's no reason for me to wait until a new year rolls around. I'd rather just like, oh, it's April, I need to set this goal, or I need to make this change about myself. I'm just gonna do it. Like, why do I need to wait for an arbitrary date? Oh, Memoir 5. One of the researchers has begun to realize the secret of the shadows. His interpretation of the documents is arbitrary and biased, as expected from another lowly human. I believe his name was Ikutsuki. Well, that would have been great to see prior to him betraying us. I hate the Ikutsuki betrayal. I think it is so poorly done, and I don't know why. Wait, which way am I going? Oh, I'm going this way. I don't know why they did it that way. I understand why they didn't change it for Reload, but so okay. I've had this idea, and I actually made a video about this. What I wish would have happened was, so it still plays out on the same day where the Dark Hour still happens, but instead of Ikutsuki killing Takaharu and then dying, what would have happened, hear me out. So Ikutsuki and Takaharu Kirijo are coming back with Aigis. The Dark Hour happens, and they're in, you know, a limo or whatever, and because the Dark Hour happens, the limo shuts down. And they get ambushed by Strega. And Strega kills them in retaliation for all of the experiments that happened. That way, those two characters still die. So that doesn't change. Those two characters still die. But you're given even more reasons for hating Strega. You still get the explanation of like, hey, the Dark Hour's still here. What do we do about it? All that shit still happens. It just, you don't deal with the bullshit of Ikutsuki being just a terrible villain for the span of like 5 minutes. I think that makes so much more sense and would have worked. Please don't reflect this in my face. I think that works so much better and would have made so much more sense. And I am angry that they didn't do it that way. It would have worked so much better. And I still, oh God, I got no health. It just would have worked so much better. And I know I'm not a writer, but like, and I know that people have said like, oh, Ikutsuki's been sus this whole time because he's the only adult here, but I mean, do you say the same thing about Takaharu Kirijo? Was he suspicious because he was an adult during the Dark Hour? We saw him. Ikutsuki was part of the experiments. Should we believe Takaharu Kirijo? Like, I still get angry thinking about that. It frustrates me so much to no end. And I wish they would have rethought that a little bit. But like I said, it is what it is. I think that would have been a much better way to go about it. I've said my piece. If you want to watch more about how much I hate that, go watch the video on Oro Talks. I feel like I'm self-plugging all my old videos, and that feels weird to do. That feels like scummy. But I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts about games, especially the Persona series, and the way I get those thoughts out is I make videos on them. But all we can do now is wait for Persona 6. I know Metaphor is basically Persona 6, just minus the name, and it's basically the same thing, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what Studio Zero does next, because I thought Metaphor was a fantastic game. I have a few issues, obviously, but for the most part, I thought it was really good. And I don't know, I want more Persona, man. I just want more Persona. I played this series so much, and sometimes it feels like it's the only series that I play, but please don't kill me, I think I should be good. Yeah, but I don't know, when you find a series that you like really, really vibe with, it's hard to not get super invested in not only the series, but also the studio that creates it. And there are a few studios here and there that I feel really strongly about, like Atlus is one of them because of Persona, Monolith Soft for Xenoblade. Capcom is great for Monster Hunter, but Capcom, I know there is a studio, but it doesn't really, I can't really remember I don't know if they have a name for the Monster Hunter studio. It's developed by Capcom, if that makes sense. But there aren't any other series right now that I'm like super, super invested in. Maybe Zelda, I guess, but Tears of the Kingdom came out 3 years ago, I think. Like it's been a while. And as much as I liked Tears of the Kingdom, it was basically Breath of the Wild 1.5, which I still enjoyed, but I wanted more. And I get the Lover's Arcana, which is nice. But we get the Arcana boost, and we now get access to the Jack Tarot cards. Shuffle time. It's the Minor Arcana. And is there anybody left? I don't know, I skipped through the dialogue. I probably shouldn't be doing that because Fuuka probably has important shit to say. I should have enough, right? This is Sun Tarot card, Book of Resh. You will now be able to fuse personas up to 5 levels above your current level until you leave Tartarus. And I can get an extra Major Arcana card. And Judgment Tarot, that is the member of the current party with the lowest level will gain a large amount of XP. Okay. Well, let us leave Manad. Did I miss some chest? I probably did. I don't really care. I guess all that's left is for me to grab. Oh, social link bonuses. I guess all that's left for me to do is to fuse some personas, grab the animals randomly scattered in Tartarus, and I guess I will see you guys in a little bit. Okay, I'm back. I have done actually not too much fusion. I have fused every persona up to level 71, and then of course I've got a few that went over because of social link bonuses. I don't know if I've completely mentioned this yet, but I've also been doing all of the group fusions, so it's special fusions. I'm all the way up to here. Obviously I can't do Mara because I'm not high enough level yet, but those are good. I'm also pretty much almost done with the, what is it called? All of the requests. I've only got a few more to go. Let's go ahead and talk about these. There's number 72. This is Daisojo with Regenerate 3. Just fuse something into it. And then Alice with, oh, it's just have Alice. Got Alice, yep. And take that as reward. I get a maid outfit. Loki at level 75 or higher. No, why you like this game? Shit. I think I'm gonna go ahead and grab this. I might as well at this point, because I'm here. I'll save, I'll be right back. Okay, here's request number 87. Have a Loki at least level, whoa, what did I press? A Loki at least level 75 in your stock. With it, you'll now be able to fuse Masakato of the Tower Arcana. It's incredibly strong, and you will need to be equally powerful to control him. But I am confident you are up to the challenge. Masakato, so I can fuse it. Guardian of Tokyo. And we are almost there. We actually don't have all that many left. So obviously 98 and 99, and then 91. I guess that's it. So only 3 more requests. Yeah, we are We are really, really, really getting towards the end here. You also need at least 100,000 yen after selling your loot if you're following this as a guide. I clearly have way more than that because I wasn't super worried about how Fusion was working with the guide. So, with all of those things out of the way, if you remember, you see in the top right-hand corner, tomorrow's the next full moon, and Ryoji did in fact say that he was gonna come see us. So,
Oh, hello.
let's call it quits. I'll see you guys tomorrow for a big day.